You may have seen or heard the term spec home while looking for a new construction home. In this video, I'm going to talk about what exactly a spec home is and what are some of the pros and cons of buying a spec home. And stick around to the end to find out how you can get a spec home at a discount. My name is Ryan Renner, and I'm a real estate agent here in Omaha with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, the Good Life Group. So the first question is, what is a spec home? Well, this is a home that a builder has started to build before they have a buyer lined up. So spec, in this case, stands for speculative. A builder is speculating based on market conditions, the neighborhood, their experience, etc., that someone will buy the home they are building once it's finished or before, and they'll make a profit. Why would a home builder want to build a spec home, and should you consider buying one? Now, for a builder, a spec home is just easier. When you're building a fully custom home, there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen. There are a lot of moving parts, meetings, client input, changes, and more changes, and this can be really time-consuming for the builder. With a spec home, most of the big decisions have already been decided, such as the style of the home, the floor plan, and the lot. Some builders only build spec homes. They will not do any custom homes. Now, another benefit for builders is they can reuse the same floor plan over and over again. They can optimize the process on building that floor plan and improve upon it. Many builders will take a brand new floor plan, build a spec, and then take the feedback they receive after they sell it and make tweaks here and there and improve on the home. And they may do this each time, so each floor plan is pretty much the same, but also a little bit better. Now, a good analogy is a car company introducing a brand new model. Most people advise you don't buy a new model the first year it's introduced because there might be some bugs or issues to work out. After a year or two, the car company has ironed out all the issues. And that's kind of similar to a spec home where the builder has ironed out some of the issues with the floor plan. Now let's talk about some of the benefits of a spec home for a buyer. First, spec homes are more affordable than a fully custom home. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Like I kind of mentioned before, the builder can reuse the floor plan and they can save on design fees. And if they've built the same thing several times, they've likely figured out ways to streamline the process and become more efficient. The builder doesn't have to spend time in meetings and wait for approvals from clients before scheduling work, and that is another huge cost savings. Another enormous benefit to buying a spec home is timing. The home you are interested in might already be finished, so you're able to move in right away. Or maybe it's already under construction and there are only a few months remaining. The alternative is building something from scratch and waiting 10 months or even longer to finish. So if you want a new home but don't want to wait a year, a spec home could be a really good option. In my opinion, the biggest benefit to a spec home is you actually get a walk through the home before you buy it. You can look at a floor plan and blueprints all day long, but there's really no substitute to actually walking through a home. Now, this does assume that the spec home you're looking at is already completed and it's not under contract. But many builders will actually have multiple specs under construction and at different stages. So if the one you are interested in isn't finished, there may be one that is already finished that you can walk through. Another benefit to a spec home is financing. If you choose to buy a spec home, the financing is pretty straightforward. It's very similar to buying an existing home. You don't need to worry about a construction loan. The builder has already handled that aspect of it. Transparent pricing is another benefit of spec homes. So recently, we have seen a lot of cost increases, price increases for new construction, whether that's because of lumber prices, concrete prices, things like that. When you get under contract on a spec home, especially if it is pretty much at the end and it's finished, that's the price you're going to pay. If you start from the very beginning, especially fully custom, you don't know the exact price that you're going to pay until the very end, and it can vary dramatically. And finally, another benefit with some spec homes is that you are actually allowed to pick finishes. This is not the case with all spec homes. Some builders do not allow a single thing to be customized once they start. Some builders allow limited customizations. It just depends on what stage they are at in the construction. So if you can catch a spec at the very beginning of construction, there is a really good chance that you can make a lot of design decisions about the home. I know that I've listed a lot of the benefits to spec homes, but what are some of the downsides to a spec home? I know I said that you can make customizations, but the customizations are very, very limited. Generally, you're only allowed to customize flooring, paint colors, possibly kitchen cabinets and countertops, but you aren't going to be able to change the floor plan or move walls. So spec homes have very limited customization options. Another big restriction to spec homes is location. You may love the home, but you might not like the location. Some builders will only build in certain neighborhoods, or you may love the home, but you wish it was on a walkout lot, or you wish it back to trees. If you do love a spec home, most builders will work with you and help you choose a lot and start from scratch. But then you are talking about a 10-month or longer timeline. A benefit I talked about a little earlier is that you can get into a spec home relatively fast if it's almost completed. And that can be a negative if your timeline doesn't match up with the home that you want. And in a perfect world, the builder wants to close on that home the second that it's completed. But if you're not ready, they're not going to wait around for you. They're going to find someone else. Now, on the flip side, if you are ready, and you find a spec home that has been completed and maybe it's been sitting vacant for a few weeks, a month, or more, it's a really great opportunity to potentially negotiate on the purchase price. Now, most builders will not negotiate a spec home's price before it's finished. The listed price is the price they want. And yes, you might be able to get a little bit of a price reduction before it's complete, but it's not going to be anything substantial. If it is complete and they don't have a buyer, the builder has a ton of incentive to sell that home. Every day it's in their inventory, it's costing them money, and that's when you can get a bigger price reduction. Now, that's about all I have on spec homes, but if you are thinking of buying a spec home, make sure you're working with an experienced agent like myself. Don't just rely on the builder's agent, because the builder's agent is looking out for the builder. Rightfully so, but you need someone that's looking out for you and your best interests. And not all agents are experienced with new construction, so choose your agent carefully. If you have any questions about spec homes in the Omaha area that I didn't answer, please reach out to me. I'm here to help in any way I can. Also, please check out the other videos that I've made about new construction. They answer a lot of the questions that I get from people that are looking to build in the area. Thank you so much for watching.